Police pull over a vehicle on the road traveling recklessly and are shocked to find a 7-year-old behind the wheel.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about this story. In fact, it's the most popular one on our website, KRQE.com. And to say it's quite unbelievable is really an understatement. So here we go. On Saturday afternoon, Hobbs police were called out to an intersection after two people reported a young child driving on the wrong side of the road. Police dash cam video we got a hold of right here shows the car leaving the Stripes parking lot. You saw it driving on the sidewalk, then off the curb and on to the road. Police say when they pulled the car over, they found, get this, a 7-year-old girl sitting on her mom's lap in full control of the car. Alexandria Blakely explained to the officer that her daughter was driving because she wanted to.
Why is she sitting in your lap while you're driving?
She wanted to learn how to drive.
Okay. Do you think that's wrong for a 7-year-old to be in control of a car?
No.
Okay.
No, sir.
That's not enough. Police say they found an open beer can in Ms. Blakely's car and say she also admitted to taking 2 shots of rum early that morning. Blakely is now facing traffic charges, but not child abuse or DWI charges. Well, in Albuquerque, a woman with a less than perfect driving record is suing about a wreck police say she caused. Angelique Pena Chavez claims a truck driver acted carelessly by parking his broken down semi partially in the roadway. Back on August 26th of last year, Angelique Pena Chavez and her 10-year-old daughter were rushed to the hospital badly hurt. Police say she rammed her car into the parked semi, causing another car to slam behind her. And this is what police said the next day.
While they were going into surgery, the surgeon found a large amount of crack cocaine in a body cavity of Ms. Pena Chavez.
We found out Ms. Pena Chavez's driving rap sheet includes just about every offense you can think of, from a DWI arrest to running red lights to 14 speeding tickets. That's not to mention the 151 bench warrants for not showing up to court. However, when it comes to that crash in August, she says she was not at fault. The lawsuit says the truck driver created the hazard by parking his truck partially in the driveway. The truck driver says those allegations are baseless and wants the lawsuit dismissed.
A New Mexico family once acquitted of smuggling guns to the Mexican drug cartel will not get a new trial. A federal court of appeals reversed a district court ruling granting a new trial for Rick and Terry Reese and their son Ryan out of Deming. The Reeses were convicted in 2012 of making false statements on federal forms during weapons sales. Police have identified the young woman killed in a rollover crash near the freeway this week in Albuquerque. 20-year-old Caitlin Ubka was not wearing a seatbelt and thrown from the vehicle and then pinned under it, according to officials. The accident happened on the I-25 frontage road near Comanche. Police are still investigating what caused her to lose control of her vehicle. Well, the feds continue to monitor radiation levels at the waste isolation pilot plant near Carlsbad more than a month after the first radioactive leak there.
Now, despite the leak on Valentine's Day and the one from last week, there were talks of expansion in storing high-level radioactive waste at WIPP. Nuclear energy experts were in Uptown yesterday talking about how salt beds could be used to store the most dangerous kind of radioactive waste. Right now, WIPP only handles low-level waste, and some say salt beds at WIPP could be used to handle high-level waste. Storage for high-level nuclear waste is a national problem, and researchers say WIPP isn't the only place under consideration right now.
The salt, and in fact all of these rock types, occur in many places in the United States. We're here because of the experience at WIPP to see what of that experience applies to our problem with high-level waste and spent nuclear fuel.
Mexico's U.S. senators say they are opposed to storing high-level waste at the plant. Well, the city of Albuquerque has become quite the landlord it might not want to be for a bunch of properties, and it comes at a very big price to every taxpayer. We showed you on special assignment. The city bought nearly a dozen large properties, including the rundown De Anza on East Central, the El Vado on West Central, and 68,000 square foot National Guard Armory on Wyoming and Copper. One of the buildings was a freebie to others the city already owned, but for the rest, taxpayers have shelled out $14 million to add to the buildings to the city's collection. It has also paid another $1.4 million for maintenance and security. So why did the city get into the property management business in the first place?
Most of these are where the community comes to us and says, this is becoming a disrepair. We don't want it to be redeveloped into something that doesn't represent us. City, help us.
Well, there is a lot more to this story. To see a list of all the properties in the story and the city's plans for all of the redevelopment of them, you can head to our website at krqe.com or check out the story tonight at 9 o'clock on Tu Casa.
Next year's schedule for Santa Fe Public Schools isn't going over too well with some parents. On Tuesday, the school board approved a schedule that keeps early release on Fridays. Many parents wanted to get rid of that. They say it creates daycare issues and that they're worried their kids are losing valuable instruction time. Most teachers, though, like the early release days so that they can catch up on preparing classwork for the kids. The calendar also calls for an earlier spring break and a later start to the school year. Well, today is your chance to give your input on improvements to the Albuquerque Bio Park. The city of Albuquerque is drafting a master plan to expand the park and keep it a viable and valuable asset to the community. There is a meeting today from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Barelas Senior Center. It's the second of 3 public meetings. Head on out there and hear about the process and chime in on those improvements.